Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I would like to go over my Pubg settings, as a lot of people do keep asking for my settings. You know, since I've got the PS5, the controller's completely different. You know, the sticks are more sensitive, the triggers are more sensitive. So I have had to mess around with my settings. You know, try and find the best possible settings for me. I personally believe I found them. It's not much of a big change, but there's a couple of things that will definitely help you along the way. So let's get into it. Right guys, these are my settings that I have updated. I'm still Type B. I still haven't inverted my controls. There's no point of doing that. I don't think I've actually ever met anyone who had inverted controls. There might be somewhere along the lines, but maybe that's just like an older gamer. I'm not really sure. My dead zones are still 10. My dead zones I don't really change because I'm not having stick drift. If you have stick drift where the sticks are moving on their own, and obviously put them up a little bit, that should solve the problem. But that's only a quick fix. Vibrations on. I can't play without vibrations being on. It doesn't feel like I'm actually playing. So and my vibration strength is 10. I have to feel like I'm playing. I have to feel the controller shake. I don't know why. It's just weird. Going on to my actual sensitivity, so my forward running sensitivity is still the same, it's still 31, my movement sensitivity is 15, vertical I have lowered to 60, it was like 80 to 90, I kept moving it up and down a little bit, but the vertical is obviously where you move up and down, that is vertical, horizontal is left to right, but vertical is up and down. So say if I was to change my vertical to 150, so left to right's fine. Up and down is extremely fast. Like, that is far too fast for me. I mean, that's not for me. So that's why my vertical is on 60. Let's put that back to 60 before I forget. General sensitivity is obviously everything that's outside of ADS. Aiming down sight, so that's just personally like moving around. So say that I'm shooting someone in front, I down somebody, the turn round, someone shoots me in the back, it's easy to turn around, easy to turn on people. It's a lot better. I personally think like majority of players should play on a high general sensitivity, especially if you're playing on low scope sensitivities. But people like high general sensitivities, and some people actually like high ADS sensitivities too. Driver sensitivity is 5. I don't really bother with that because I kill my team anyway. I say this every single time I do a settings video. I always end up killing my team in a car or flipping a car. I'm probably the worst driver on EU. So next set we'll be looking at will be aim acceleration. I know some people who play with aim acceleration on and off. I personally prefer it off because I run mediocrely high sensors. If you run low sensitivities, I personally think aim acceleration is a very good thing for you, especially when you're tracking targets or tracking a moving vehicle going past you. But for me, because I have high sensors anyway, I don't really see the need for it, and it kind of messes me up sometimes when I'm tracking a target. You just get to track the target and it gets a little bit too fast, you end up missing your bullets, they turn around, they shoot you, they kill you. It'll end up damaging in the long run. For me, I don't like it. For you, it might work. Always give it a go. Over the shoulder aim acceleration is just, when you're in third person, that's over the shoulder, regardless if it's left, right, while you're leaning. I don't really do that. I do like to play in FPP, even in TPP, but some people aim like this. Obviously, personal preference. PUBG is always down to personal preference. But this is mostly for me if I panic. So if I go through a door, someone's in my way, I didn't realise they were there, I start panicking, I don't try not to aim down sight, especially on third person, it would just be a quick So that doesn't necessarily have to be that high. Sometimes it messes me up, sometimes I feel like I should have it higher, but it's just what it is. So all my sensitivities, I like to have them roughly the same. I have upped them. I did lower them down to 10 at one point, and I put them to 12, which is what I had them on in my last setting video, and now they're on 14. 14 works for me. I'm not sure why, even though the sticks are a little bit more sensitive, but they work for me. They might not for you. This is what you have to realize, guys. my sensitivities are the best for me personally. They might not work for you, but you could take maybe the general sensitivity, which I recommend everyone having relatively high, and just go from there. You know, try high sensors. If you don't like them, lower them a little bit. I always, whenever I start trying to find my sensitivities, I always pump everything up to 20, and I lower it, lower it, lower it until I get to the point where I can control it, and it's personally best for me. So going into the gameplay stuff. So kill feed type, graphic, I don't really like having to read everything. I like to see the picture of the gun. Sometimes you miss what they're using, or you know, if you're playing ranked or you're playing, you know, a competition or tournament, that could come in handy if you see what gun people are using. So if people are using a barrel, then you know if you have an M4 and AK, you have to probably take a little bit of distance because they're going to absolutely melt you in a close range. If they're using a Vector, you know to stay well clear because that gun absolutely beams and it is absolutely broken. So having to look to see what guns people are using is always handy. Colorblind mode. People ask me why I use colorblind mode. I'm not actually colorblind. I know somebody who is, and some of these settings don't even help him. He has like a different kind of colorblind, but let's not get into that. But Protonobia I think is the best. It's whenever you shoot people, it lights up bright blue. So if you're shooting people from afar, you can't really see if you're hitting people or not. So you can't really tell your teammates, you know, I've tagged him 3 times, because you don't know if you've actually hit him yourself. So the best way to do it is just change the colour of the blood. I know it seems a little bit less realistic. Some people don't like that, but for me, I prefer to see if I'm hitting the player or not. Crosshair colour, I just leave it default. I don't do colours. Some people can do it, some people don't. I just prefer to leave the colours as it is. I think it's actually green. Yeah, I just have like the base set of green. I don't really tamper with the colour shading. So on-screen button hints is it's a very good thing to use if you're a new player. If you're not used to the buttons or you don't know how to do certain things, like the quick heal if you hold down on the D-pad, this is a very, very good thing to have on. Solely for new players. I mean, if you're very forgetful of what buttons they are, if you play multiple games, then on-screen button hints will work, but it does cover a bit of your screen. Moving on to network bug statistics. So this actually tells you, which is on my top left corner right now, my ping, what server we're on, my packet loss, my upload, my download, and just all sorts of connection types. So it tells you like if your connection is running smooth, if your connection is running bad, you're probably going to get killed around corners, you're probably going to get desynced. But it's just one of those. So compass background, I have mine disabled. I'm not really fussed about that. Loot flash effect, glow. Sometimes you can still miss things. I like it to pulse, so it flashes while I'm trying to loot. So reticle, I do use to cross. I did used to use the chevron, but I do like the cross now. I'm not sure why. It's just is what it is. So obviously the reticle colors, which is pretty cool. You can change them, but you have to do all this in your settings now. They have changed it on the last update. It's not just hold something on a D-pad. You have to change that all. Everything is going to be on full auto, or you know, say like if it's the barrel, it can go on burst, the M16 can go on burst, but I'd always put full auto, because if you pick up a gun, the last thing you want to do is try and reload it and try and change the fire mode. So if you're landing on a hot spot, you want to be able to be picking up that gun, shooting the next target, or shooting anyone near you, just not your teammates, obviously. That would be resulting in a ban. So Tpp Aim Camera Position, I like to reset on my right shoulder because I always shoot to my right. That's probably one of my disadvantages. If I shoot to my left, I'm a bit potato-y. I do tend to whiff a lot, but I always end up leaning on my right hand side. Auto reload, I mean, it helps massively. It really does. As soon as your clip is empty, it will automatically start reloading. Or if you pick up a gun, it will automatically start reloading if you press the trigger. That's the one thing a lot of people don't know. When you first pick up the gun, it has no bullets in its chamber. Press the trigger like you're about to shoot it, and it will automatically reload. You wouldn't have to hold square. So auto reload is obviously very good to have. or equipped attachments, I'd like to personally have that on. I'd like to pick up, you know, a red dot and for it to go straight into my AK, my barrel, my M16, or anything you kind of pick up, rather than having to mess around and press the options button, having to scroll down, having to, you know, just mess around in your inventory, and it takes time, especially if you're landing hot. You know, everything helps. If you can deck your gun out quicker and kit your gun out quicker, 100% have it on, 100%. But obviously attachments as well, scopes, I always have my scopes on, my attachments on, and I like to have my own weapon skins, of course, so that's always a bonus. Do I want to hide my helmet? I mean, you know, you can have that on so you can see a level 3 helmet and stuff like that, but I like to see what my character actually looks like. Obviously, at the moment, I've got the Santa hat on. It is the festive season, so that's always fun to see. Radio message. So radio message is probably one of the best things in this game, quick ping situation. So the radio message is where you can ping things for your teammates rather than have to call them out. Obviously still call them out, but ping them at the same time. So I'll give you a bit of an example of why it is best. So if I click the right stick in right now, it'll show you a slow like ping on the compass. If it was in a real game, it'll actually ping an actual marker, like it would say, like if I was to ping there, it'd ping up on a marker there, so your teammates know exactly where to look. Personally, for teamwork, it's one of the best things on this game, and I rate it highly. I actually really enjoy it. But just make sure it is on button preset option 1, quick ping enabled. You need to make sure that quick ping is enabled, which is just clicking in the right hand stick. So continuous items, I only have bandages. Sometimes if you have it on, you know, you drink one energy drink and then you try and get back to the fight, it starts drinking another one. You know, just have it on bandages only, because the only time you're going to bandage up is when you need to bandage once or twice. So just put them 2 bandages on, get back to the fight. Observer, I don't observe games. I don't do custom games at the moment, but it's definitely on the cards. I'm thinking about doing some custom games and hold them for you guys. I mean, I'd like to personally watch the gameplay rather than play it myself, because last time there was a lot of, you know, there's a lot of toxicity while I was trying to do customs. So, but this is just for if you're spectating or you're hosting a tournament, you know, you can mess around with all that. I have no idea what all this does, I'm not gonna lie. I don't really, like I said, I don't really do that. Death cam, I always have a death cam on. Death cams are not accurate at all. You have to realize this, guys. I could kill somebody from over there, be absolutely beaming them, look, my cursor being on them the whole time. On their screen, you know, my cursor will be there while I'm shooting a target. You know, it's very inaccurate, because this is a game, it's a poorly designed game at that, and you just have to bear with it. Like, a lot of people say he wasn't even on me, he wasn't even shooting me. He was, bro. On his screen he was. It's just very, very delayed, and it's very, very wrong and incorrect. So just keep that in mind. Audio, master volume 100. You know, I turn the music off in the menu because it really annoys me. Especially when you're in a lobby just trying to talk to your friends and you've got this background music in your head. I just can't play like that. Some people like to play with, you know, Spotify on, and I can't play that. Graphics, my field of view is 100. It does go up and down depending on what I'm playing, but 100 is probably where I'm going to keep it at all times. Brightness, I need to have that brightness, you know, that high brightness. So 70% is fine for me. Sometimes I heighten it for Sanhok, because Sanhok can become really, really dark and Karakin, especially in the bigger cities. It just turns extremely dark for some reason. It's really weird, but I think it's just a game. You know, it's a love-hate game. Pubg is definitely a love-hate game. But that's it for this settings video, guys. There's nothing really else I can cover. If there's anything you want me to cover in the future, you know, let me know in the comments section. And let me know how you get on with the settings if you do end up following these settings. But as for now, that's all, my guys. I will see you in the next video. Peace.